There we go. Palms. Yeah, we're here in San Diego. Hey, David.
Hey, Larry.
Hey. So it's been a nice weekend, I guess. Kind of relaxing, I hope.
Yeah, it's been all right. I mean, I don't really have that much to do. I hawk books. I stand around the pocket booth for a little while.
Yeah.
You know, chill a little bit, give away a few things, sign a few things. For the most part, though, I sleep in every day. I get up. I go to the fitness center. I swim in the pool. I sit in the hot tub. I have breakfast.
You're destroying people's, bubble right here and now.
So now today is pretty much just wander around
You get time
and lament
to...
the fact that the con ran out of pretzel dogs.
That's right. Way understocked on pretzel
Way understocked. They told me they only ordered 8,000 pretzel dogs for an entire convention. They got 175,000 people they said they sold, memberships for coming to this thing. And you only created 8,000 pretzel dogs?
And
so I said, well, obviously you've learned your lesson. Next year you make 13,000 pretzel dogs. And they were like, well, hot dogs are very expensive.
Let me write that memo and I'll send it along.
Yeah, notify con management. Next year, more pretzel dogs and more cowbell.
You guys have been really, really busy.
We're pushing the Destiny trilogy. That's my next big thing. I've been working on that for most of the last 18 months.
And what's the log line on that for our non-readers? Who should be reading?
It is a humongous crossover event that takes place in the at the furthest forward point of Star Trek continuity to date. It involves the crews of the Enterprise, the Titan, a new ship called the Aventine, which is captained by Ezri Dax. It involves
Ezri Dax.
Ezri Dax gets a battlefield commission, comes up through the ranks. Essentially, this is the Borg invasion that everyone has feared for the long time. Every other Borg thing you've ever seen in Star Trek is an incident. This is the invasion. And some people have been saying, oh no, not the Borg again. Well, you know what? If it doesn't work, it's my fault. I'm the one who suggested it to my editors, and they had the same reaction. They said, we just did 3 books involving the Borg. You want to do the Borg again? I said, well, you say you want to move the Star Trek The Next Generation literary franchise forward into new, fresh territory, but you yourselves have brought out the 800-pound gorilla of Star Trek villains to harass your crew. And you've left dangling story threads and dangling threats involving this. I said, you have to resolve this. If you want to move forward with a clean slate, this is the time, this is the opportunity. You say you want a big, ground-shaking trilogy that'll shake up all your franchises, that'll reinvigorate fan interest. You want to clear the slate for the TNG crew. This is the way to do it. You need to do the definitive Borg story, the one that is going to put a lid on this for good. It's pretty serious changes in the Star Trek status quo that will resonate going forward in other books across all Star Trek literary series.
Because that's the thing now. You're totally unbound to go there now.
Yeah, we pretty much have a lot of creative freedom in that respect. We can introduce new characters, new situations. We can alter existing relationships and situations. And these changes, because the writers all work together in a collaborative effort, they get reflected across all the book series, and we consult each other. We run it very much like a writer's room.
I was about to say, it's really gotten so tight, it's almost like writing a season of scripts.
It very much is.
So what's been the coolest thing for you in your stories to be able to do? Tweaking character or arc or...
Well,
spoilers welcome.
Are we talking about just in the Destiny trilogy or just overall?
Just overall here recently, or what's been the biggest kick for you?
I guess, I mean, there's always the fun thing when you first get to write and put words into the mouths of characters you grew up with as a kid. When I was writing the first Vanguard book, and I got to write scenes with young Jim Kirk and Spock, and it was before McCoy was even part of the crew, so getting to do that was pretty fun. And but it's also just fun to feel like I'm contributing something of myself and my imagination to the Star Trek universe, to this ongoing story, this shared sort of adventure that we're all part of. And it's really just an exciting thing to know that I'm contributing something that fans are digging, and or at least I hope that fans are digging. But at this point, I've worked on pretty much almost. I think now actually I can say I've worked on every variation of the Star Trek property.
What about feedback? Does it all channel through Pocket to you, or do you ever put out an email or a website for people to write you, or are you not into that?
I'm remarkably easy to find, absurdly easy to find. You Google my name, and as long as you don't get the Kabuki guy, you'll probably find me. I'm active on a number of message boards.
Oh, okay.
Trek BBS, the Sci-Fi Books Database, the Simon & Schuster website, StarTrek.com, community boards, and I post under my real name. And I interact with the fans. I'm always happy to see feedback. I don't mind if people want to tell me why they hate my work. I say, well, I'm sorry that didn't work for you. And if they want to praise my work, I say, well, thank you. I appreciate your feedback. I'll discuss story points or inspirations with people if they'd like to know. I do have a website, infinitydog.com. Also davidmack.org, which is supposed to be for nonprofit organizations, but if anyone knows anything about the finances of a writer, it actually kind of makes sense. Also .net.com were taken, which is a whole other story which we won't go into.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm pretty easy to find. My website has my email address. I get email regularly from fans around the world. I've been emailed by fans from Japan, Australia, Germany, England. I've received email from soldiers serving overseas. I've arranged shipments of books to soldiers in Iraq and Afghanistan. So
there we go.
Yeah. January of '09, I have a short story called For Want of a Nail, which is in Shards and Shadows, which is Star Trek Mirror Universe. And that's going to be a short story anthology, which is going to be continuing what we set forth in the first two Mirror Universe volumes, Glass Empires and Obsidian Alliances, and we're going to be, continuing many of the plot threads that were set up, including Spock's underground movement, the Terran Rebellion, and my story, I guess, could be described as sort of Star Trek meets Alias, with Kalar and Barclay as an espionage team.
Okay,
she's the sexy, daring field agent, and he's the stuttering, nebbishy tech support guy in the band. Would be the way to describe that. Next, about a year from now, July of '09, is when I'm scheduled to premiere my first original novel, my own concept, called The Calling.
Okay.
And that's a modern-day supernatural thriller about a guy, seems like an ordinary blue-collar dude from a small town, and what makes him special is that every now and then, for reasons he doesn't understand, he can hear when other people pray for help. And if he hears it, he's got to get involved.
Oh, okay.
And this draws him into a web of intrigue and adventure and danger in which he gets caught in a mess between corrupt cops, Russian mob, and supernatural enemies galore. So that'll be out next July.
Oh, cool.
After that, my next project in the hopper is a novel based on the TV series The 4400. That's going to be called Promises Broken. That's probably going to be out next fall. And that's going to be a story that takes place after the end of the TV series, and I'm treating it very much like a grand finale. Of course, I've also left it open enough that if the books sell really well and the license continues, there is the possibility that somebody could come in and write more continuing stories beyond that. So I don't blow up the world or anything, but that's not to say I didn't try.
Okay.
I'll be writing Vanguard Book 5, in which I will have to deal with whatever curveball my friends Dayton Ward and Kevin Dillmore throw me with their book, Open Secrets, which will be out in May of '09, and my book will be out in December of '09. I don't have a title for that yet, and I don't have a story because I have to see what they're going to do to mess up that fictional universe.
Throw you out,
They're going to throw me a curveball, and it's my job to duck and then throw one back. After that,
always fun.
After that, things get a little nebulous. I'm looking to start adding some new projects to my schedule. I'm discussing some Star Trek books with folks at Star Trek. I'm discussing other projects with folks at other publishing houses. I'm trying to get into some comic book work. But we'll see what happens, and whatever shakes out, shakes out.
Hey, it does. And
I'm a full-time writer now. I used to write and hold down a day job, and I'm happy that I've had enough good luck and success in this field that I've been able to make the transition to doing this as my sole occupation, and I hope that continues to be the case.
Always good to see everybody turn that corner, and best of luck to you.
It's a leap of faith.
There you go. There you go. Hey, man, thanks a lot.
My pleasure.
Okay.